Hello, everyone. Welcome to Developing Palates. I am Aaron Loomis, coming to you from the Ventura Cigar Company studio, and with me, as always, is Jiunn Liu. How you doing, Jiunn?
Good.
So today we are talking about the Dapper La Madrina Natural Toro. The cigar is more of a Robusto Extra 5 1/4 by 54 ring gauge. Comes out of the Naxa factory in Nicaragua. Wrapper is Ecuadorian Habano. Binder is Mexican San Andres, and the filler is from Nicaragua, Dominican Republic, and U.S. Pennsylvania broadleaf. Blended by Ian Reith and Raul Disla. Price point is $11.30, and the cigar was released in July of 2017. So with all that out of the way, June, what was your smoking experience like?
First third, mainly spice wood and wood driven. So, pretty potent coarse black pepper coming through, cedar wood, background notes of like mixed nuts, cinnamon. When I was retrohaling, it really further accentuated that coarse black pepper note. Started to get some bready notes to it, which is good because it didn't make it such like just spice. Finished long with the same coarse black pepper on the rear palate. There's a little bit of a gritty, earthy bitterness going on as well. Strength, for the most part, within the entire cigar, medium full and body medium. Second third, I felt like the cigar kind of lost out on some of the complexities. It became just mainly like spice with that same coarse black pepper and cedar wood. So, within those two notes, it was just, it was on the mouth draws and on the retro, especially on that finish as well. Speaking of the finish, it picked up some more grit. But instead of being on that rear palette, I felt like it was pretty within the entire palette that I felt. So within the last third, I felt like it was more in line with the first third. Such that thankfully it wasn't so dominated by just cedar and black pepper. Mixed nuts came back, and the breadiness returned as well, and so it didn't make the cigar taste like as linear as it once was within the second third. In terms of construction, burn was perfect, razor sharp, solid 1.5 inch ash marks, cool steady burn, no complaints. Within the draw. Within a pre-light, actually, the cigar felt really hard, so I thought that it was going to perhaps, make the draw kind of tight, but it really didn't. I mean, the draw was slightly tight, but it wasn't like a major influence.
Yeah, for me, the cigar started out with some wood mustiness and a kind of a very mild black pepper. Um, a little bit further in, kind of a little dampness kind of came into the profile to mix with that mustiness and mild pepper. Retrohale was kind of like more black pepper along with that musty wood in the background. Mustiness kind of increased as the third went along, but strength is just kind of right at medium. Second, third, a little bit of cream join in, kind of added a little bit of a sweetness to the profile. Um, you know, Cream, slight sweetness, they went away kind of in the middle third, so that musty wood note was kind of what the entire profile was consisting of. A little bit of a vegetal note kind of joined in with that musty wood. And then as the third was going to close, a little bit of bitterness joined in, and strength had bumped up to be slightly above medium. Final third, the wood became a little bit more definable as oak, kind of took the lead over that mustiness. A little bit more cream came in to smooth that profile a little bit. And then that kind of cream kind of just increased over time and strength bumped up to the medium full mark. In regards to construction, perfect. Burn line was straight the entire way. Ash held on 1.25 inch increments. In regards to the draw, perfect resistance for what I prefer, so no complaints there at all. So overall, what were your thoughts on this one?
I thought it was, overall flavor wise, it was kind of average to good, kind of somewhere in that range. Really a construction, but you know, let's just say one thing is for certain that I've kind of witnessed within Dapper cigars. The way they market their cigars is super eye-catching. The bands are so eye-catching. It's almost like on par with I feel like Black Label Trading Company. They make some killer like cigar bands and just packaging, and I think that alone is making the cigar sell really well. I mean, I get on these like Facebook cigar groups and people post Dapper and I think one of the main reasons why, well, originally anyways, is It's because it's a white catching and the look of it and all that. So, but for me, it's all about flavors. I mean, we created this website. We want to talk about flavor experience, and that's what I definitely reaching after the most. So, in terms of flavors, it, I kind of felt like it was a little too dominant and linear and like cedar, black pepper. Best part was that last third for me, where it showed less wood and spice and had other flavors kind of come through. But even with that, it isn't quite enough for me to go out and reach for more.
Yeah, the first third started with some good flavor, but by the second third, I think the profile became fairly average. Wood, musty notes were pretty consistent throughout, and there wasn't really anything that gave it any pop. Construction was perfect, so that's always good. But if you like musty wood, that's probably one to try. But this is the second line that we've reviewed from Dapper, and the El Borracho being the first. I think and at this point I'd prefer the El Borracho over this one. But I mean, it's great to see another well-constructed cigar coming out from them. The Naxa factory starting to pick up in regards to business, doing some Dunbar Tobacco Trust stuff. So, if the flavor profile was more interesting, I might be more apt to come back to this cigar. But like I said, I'd probably go after the El Borracho more than this one. So, getting into the scores, you gave it a 6.67. I gave it a 6.10. How do you think that matched up with your experience?
Matched pretty well. I mean, in terms of flavors, I went like good, average, good. The second, third being the kind of the mundane kind of linear average profile. Really good construction. So that mid sixes is right in line with kind of what I believe as like a average to good tasting kind of cigar.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I rated the flavor profile slightly above average, but the construction was perfect. So that's kind of how that score shakes out. So it's a slightly above average cigar. Price point's above $10, so you have to take that into consideration. Whether or not you think that's a good enough balance or not. So, but I think it's worth trying one, see what you think, and then kind of go from there. Any other final thoughts from you?
Mm-mm.
All right. If you're just catching this video on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to us, but also check out the full written review on the website, developingpalates.com. Be sure to follow us on all the social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Google+. And you can catch all of our review recaps on podcasts, so iTunes, Google Play, and Podbean. Thank you for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next one.